Okay, this is the chapter 3 review, numbers 2 through 6. So this is the second page. All right, number 2, which set of triangles aren't similar? And then explain why. All right, so these don't have any letters or anything on the vertices, so I'm going to just call these triangles A, B, and C just for the sake of talking about them so that I can easily tell which one we're talking about here. So we have to figure out which ones are not similar, which means some of them are similar. So we're going to look at two at a time. Let's look at A and B. Okay, those are the ones I'm going to look at first. And so if I want to know if these are similar, because I don't have any angles here, all I have are sides, I'm going to check to see if their sides are proportional. So I'm going to look at the smallest side on this triangle, which is 8, and compare it to the smallest side on this triangle, which is 2. So 8 and 2 would be my two sides that I would create a ratio from, 8 and 2. And then I'm going to take the next smallest size, which is 14, and I'm going to find the next smallest side here, which is 3.5, and I'm going to put those together as a fraction. So 14 over 3.5. And then I'm going to take my largest side, which is 20, with my largest side on this triangle, which is 5. So 20 over 5. And then I'm going to simplify each of these fractions to see if they are equal. Okay, so if I take 8 divided by 2, I'm going to get 4. So the ratio of those sides are 4. If I take 14 divided by 3.5, I also get 4. And then 20 divided by 5 is 4. And so all of those ratios are equal, which means A and B are similar. Remember, the question asks which ones are not similar. So let's look at A and C this time. Okay, so if we look at A and C, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take the smallest side here, which is 8, and look at the smallest side here, which is 4. And then that simplifies to 2. Then I'm going to take the medium side, or the middle side here, which is 14, and the middle side here, which is 10. And if I simplify that, I know I don't get 2. I get 1.4. So those are not equal, which means these are not similar. And it tells us to justify, or it says to explain why. So I'm going to say not similar because the sides are not proportional. Okay, if I wanted to double check, I would also want to compare B and C together just to make sure that those are similar, because it does say which set, making me think there's only one pair, but I just want to check the last one just to be sure. So I'm going to take small side and small side, so I'm going to do 4 over 2. This is B and C. I'm going to take middle side, which is 3.5, and 10, so 10. Yeah, 10 and 3.5. Okay, and then I'm going to take the biggest side, which is 5, and the biggest side, which is 16. So 16 over 5. I'm going to simplify these, and I think these are not going to be similar either. So 4 over 2 is going to be 2. 10 divided by 3.5. Oops. 10 divided by 3.5 is 2.85. So those are not similar either. So there are two sets of triangles that are not similar. So B and C are not similar, and neither are A and C. And both of them have the same reason. They're not similar because the sides are not proportional. Number 3, in your own words, what does it mean for two shapes to be similar? Okay, it means all of their angles are the same, or are congruent, which would make them the same shape. If the angles are congruent, the shape is the same. And their sides are proportional. Or maybe you said something like there's some kind of zoom factor that makes one figure bigger in the same way on all the sides. So maybe it has a certain zoom factor. In your own words, what does it mean for two shapes to be congruent? Again, the angles are congruent. And the zoom factor equals 1. So specifically, when the two shapes are congruent, the zoom factor is 1. For the points, -2, 7, and 2, 1 determine each of the following. So I'm going to go ahead and put these points on the graph. -2, 7. And 2, 1. That's P. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it goes down 6 over 4. Just so you know, the slope of the line, oh, there we go, -6 over 4. So again, we count down, and then we count over. So down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over 1, 2, 3, 4. And that reduces to -3 over 2. -3 over 2. If I wanted to, I could put another point right here on the line, just so it kind of makes it easier for me to draw. The distance between the points, okay, if I want to find the distance of this diagonal line, I have to make a right triangle. And so, like I said, this was 6 and this was 4. And so this is my right angle. This is my hypotenuse. I'll call that X since I'm trying to find it. It's trying to find the distance between points R and P. That's my hypotenuse. So I am going to do Pythagorean theorem. So 6 squared plus 4 squared equals X squared. 6 squared is 36. 4 squared is 16. 36 plus 16, 52. And then I'm going to take the square root of 52. I'm going to round to 3 decimal points, or decimal places, 7.211. So X is 7.211. Okay, and then we want an equation of the line RP. So the two things we need for an equation, we need the slope, which as we already found was -3 over 2. And we need the y-intercept. And remember, it's going to be right there, which is 4. So the equation is -3 over 2x plus 4. And the last one on this page, write an equation of the line perpendicular to this line passing through this point. All right, so keywords here, perpendicular. This gives us the slope. So the slope of this line is 2 over 3. We don't need the -4. The only reason they tell us this equation is for us to look at the slope. And if we want to go perpendicular to this slope, we have to do the opposite, reciprocal. That means we have to flip this to 3 over 2, and that's the reciprocal. and we have to do the opposite. So this is a positive number, so we're going to use a negative number. So ours is going to be negative 3 over 2. So we've found the slope, and now we're going to use this point, negative 6, 2. And we're going to write our equation so it looks like y equals mx plus b. And we know our m is negative 3 over 2. And we don't know what our b is. It is not this point. So we have to find this. This is a point. This is my x. This is my y. So I'm going to plug in the 2 for the y. I'm going to plug in the negative 6 for the x plus b. And if I multiply those together, negative 3 over 2 times negative 6, I get 9 plus b, and then equals 2 is on this side. I'm going to subtract 9, and b is negative 7. That's not your final answer. Your final answer is an equation of a line. Y equals negative 3 over 2x minus 7. That's your final answer.